KULR stock is one of the most innovative battery companies in space tech, and today we're going to be jumping in deep. If you guys want to see the cutting edge moves that make this stock dynamic, make sure you go through our three-step analysis with us. We were trading in inverse of the market today. As you guys saw, the market sold off, but doesn't mean we have to not make money. We can still profit when the market goes down. So if you want to watch me trade live, it's that second link in the description. Let's take a look at the space tech market. So again, KULR stock, KULR. This is a company that specializes in battery tech for a lot of different industries, from Army to working with SpaceX to Lockheed Martin and NASA grade batteries. They are a company that's been on a trend upwards overall, but recently sold off about 9%. Take a look over the last year. I mean, yeah, it's at $1.20, but it was at about 20 cents around this time last year. So to see this big spike and then the sell-off, it's still holding above this previous support. So we'll have to see what the technicals look like on the near term. But again, KULR is a company we're watching closely. Now, here's what I want to propose. I just got offered to get a free media pass to go out to the Space Symposium over in Colorado Springs, where they have all the best space companies in the world. KULR and I believe Michael Moe will be making a speech there. If you guys want to watch me go to that event, get some inside info on a lot of these tech companies that are in space, I would encourage you to hit the like button. If this video gets 100 likes, we will do it. Now, take a look here. The support is at about $1 a share. And we saw it bounce there. I think it was yesterday. Yeah, yesterday. It did go down to about $1.12. Bounced, consolidated from left to right. And as you can see, it's holding above this level here at $1. Now, the overall market definitely dipped recently, so it's possible that drags it down below this level. But one of the things that you have to look at is the overall upside as well as what's actually happening with KULR. Now, it's below that moving average. It's looking more like a buy, maybe on the RSI, but still kind of looking a little bearish. We could see a 31% recovery to there. If it recovers up to this previous resistance, it's about 37%. And then if it gets up to this level here, that'd be about 100%. And then previous highs, of course, would be about 400% return. So 4x if it gets to previous highs. Now, I'm not saying it's going to get there. In fact, there's a lot of work that it has to go through to get there. But if you look at our three-step analysis, first we look at the chart. Then we take a look at the financials. And one of the things we're considering whenever we look at the financials of a stock is, are they getting better? And KULR actually has been fairly in the green here. You see this, the numbers here on the financials, they were improving. You see quarter over quarter, as well as look at that revenue increasing there to 3.2 million. And then just recently they beat their revenue in their quarter four. They beat their revenue by 17%. And they met their earnings per share. So revenue increasing, their technology, something that's really interesting. People don't realize this. The billion, it's like $7 to $10 billion that goes out just in Colorado alone, where this event is going to be held, to space tech. That's billions. Then you have Texas. They recently moved to Texas. They increased their factory to 31,000 square feet, and they're doing that in anticipation of getting more contracts, bigger contracts. And they said now they can service and make batteries, bigger orders in the blink of an eye. That was essentially what Michael Moe, the CEO, said in their recent earnings. So again, expanding their place, their headquarters, or I don't want to say headquarters, their factory, their manufacturing, to 31,000 square feet. So they're right there neighbored with Lockheed Martin, and they're at $1.20 a share in their market cap. It's at 340 million. So we saw them over 500 million. I think we saw them close to $1 billion. Again, small cap, they are volatile. The financials have been improving though, and they've looked green in each quarter. not just year over year, but quarter over quarter. So keep that in mind. Now, when you look at KULR, they recently updated their site quite a bit and changed their domain name from KULRtechnology.com to KULR.ai. So not only are they in the battery tech space, they're also in the AI and software space. They recently updated their website, as you can see, delivering safe, high performance energy storage solutions, space, battery, and aerospace and defense. They got a 40-year heritage in advanced thermal management, so they specialize in building systems that can withstand extreme temperatures. That's really good. If you want a company that's going to build tech for space up into out of the atmosphere in the coldest place that you could be, essentially, you want a company that's building with the thermal solutions in mind, and KULR is one of those companies. Now, when you look at NASA, the Lockheed Martin and Department of Transportation, these are not small customers. And one of the things that was really interesting, I was talking with a friend over at dinner the other night when we were at the conference for that quantum computing company, D-Wave. I'm talking with them, and they're telling me how they had this NASA contract, and this is something I didn't know about NASA contracts. But oftentimes when you have NASA contracts, they renew automatically every 2 years or 5 years or 10 years. And a lot of times they'll just renew. And when they renew, they don't renew at the same price. They renew slightly more expensive. A lot of times, as long as you're continuing to work on the project, they renew. So they have that consistent revenue stream with NASA and working with Lockheed Martin. I would say is pretty good indication they're on the cutting edge. Now, they recently reported earnings. They've had some interesting moves, really good tech that they've been demonstrating. But on top of that, look at this. They're allocating 90% of their money into Bitcoin. And while the market tanks, right, we've seen a correction in the market pretty big. Bitcoin is up today, 1.25%. So why is that? Well, maybe it is going to act similar to that of digital gold. I mean, that's what the Federal Reserve is deeming it. You see more institutional investors in Bitcoin, and you also see it's up $1,000 today, and it's not looking like it's slowing down. I mean, it's consolidating from left to right. There's some potential for Bitcoin to continue in its direction. So, as a company that's in this uncertain time, if they were holding, let's say, just stock or just cash, that's maybe a little more risky given the past 10 years of history as opposed to owning Bitcoin. So that's what we see here. I think it's a risky move. It is a wild card move. But at the same time, if they have about $60+ million now, 90% of their surplus cash reserves go to Bitcoin, then they're in a good position to capitalize on the long-term growth of Bitcoin, which is to be expected. So I think that's a good catalyst. It's been kind of shaky. We're also wondering like, hey, what are they doing with all that money? Are they actually putting it into just because they have the extra cash? Or are they putting it into Bitcoin because they don't have the research and development spend, or they don't feel like putting it into their own company? I mean, as soon as somebody says we're putting $60 million into Bitcoin, the first question I'm asking is like, why not put it into your own company? Why do you have that much cash as a small company? Well, yeah, that's something to consider. But again, they kind of give you the breakdown and why they invest in Bitcoin. And their CEO is someone that has met with Michael Saylor and has that same approach as MicroStrategy. Some people think that is complete BS, all right? And some people think that's a really cool strategy. Personally, I like the long-term strategy. I think it's a great strategy, and I would consider it in my own company. And that's why I like KULR and why we cover it consistently. Not specifically because of the Bitcoin, but because of their cutting edge approach. You can also see they got the partnerships with Navy as well as Army, and they have vibration tech as well. So that kind of goes into their maybe not just the battery creation, but the battery system, the software that they make. This is a KULR Vibe. That's a cool one that essentially a cool one, KULR vibe that essentially reduces vibrations in military tech, primarily the Apache helicopter and the Black Hawk helicopter, but also in some other instances in drone tech as well. So they're kind of in drones there as well. So keep that in mind. When it comes to KULR vibe or just KULR in general, the financials look okay. I like to see Bitcoin holding where it's at. And then when you take a look at the news, it looks fairly good. There hasn't been any negative or positive catalyst per se. And that's probably why it's just kind of floundering a little bit with the rest of the market. It's down 9%. It's just kind of holding this, looking a little bearish. We got to wait for that confirmation that it is, in fact, going to recover. So we'll be watching to see if any opportunities present themselves at market open. If you guys want to watch me trade live as soon as tomorrow, we were trading this morning. We had 2 profitable trades. I would love for you guys to be there. And we go live every morning at market open at 6:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. It's that second link in the description. We got a huge sale happening for lifetime access that's going away. And on top of that, you get the email reminder, the reminders to go to the live session. You get my top stocks for every single week, and it's there in that second link down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. If I earned your thumbs up, hit that like button. Again, 150 likes, and we'll go to the Space Symposium event where we could go see some of this tech in person. And that would just give me an indication you guys care enough, you're really into it, you're looking at the potential of space, and you want me to go cover it. And that's why I will go. So 150 likes, we'll send it there. And if you guys enjoyed, do consider subscribing down below. I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.